2:05 in the afternoon. Welcome back to the second hour of the Tieman Show, Monday edition. Get a chance to talk a little baseball. I love talking baseball, especially at the minor league level. The Canadian Championships, senior Little League Championships are going on in Rouyn-Noranda all this week. And the NDG senior Lynx are currently leading the pack at 4-0. Thank you very much. Their head coach is Bobby Titleman, and he is with us right now from Rouyn. Bobby, welcome.
Thank you very much, Randy.
Okay, what are they doing right?
They're doing a lot of things right now. Just very timely hitting, great pitching, great defense. We're playing small ball. We're manufacturing runs when we had to. And when we were really kind of behind the eight ball yesterday, late in the game, we ended up having a solo shot and a 3-run homer in the bottom of the sixth inning, which pulled out a huge victory for us to put us at 4-0. So a little bit of everything.
Wow. Now, you got a tough game this afternoon also. You guys are 4-0. The team from Ontario is 3-1, and you play them this afternoon. Now, what can you tell me about those guys?
We don't know much about them. We've seen them. We've tried to head to the park between games to scout a little bit. And we're fortunate to have, I think I mentioned, we have Ray Kary as part of our staff. He's the general manager, and he's actually an MLB scout for the Giants. So he's been pretty valuable in terms of checking out other teams and giving us a heads up on individual players. So we kind of know what their strengths and weaknesses are. Good hitting team, solid D, good pitching. And we just got to take our business and do what we can do. It's an important game, but we're actually already guaranteed to be in the semis tomorrow. So we're not going to take it lightly, but it's also not a must-win. So we might kind of move people around a bit and save some pitching for when it really matters tomorrow.
The Lynx have a terrific baseball program, and yet no team from the organization has ever won that. What's the difference this year with you guys?
You know what? Probably, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I wanted to mention it too. I mean, there's been such a great legacy. I think a lot of people in Montreal who are familiar with amateur baseball know about Cary Ashton, who was the coach of this team and these boys and a previous group of guys, and I think they came pretty close a couple of years. And I guess it was just, we tried to do a little bit different things in terms of recruiting, and we're just, how we prepared the team, how we ran practices. Again, a lot of that was Ray's input, and we're trying to take it to the next level. And you kind of never know until you get here what the competition's going to be like. And I think we quickly realized after the first game or two that we're right there, and it's really a question of whatever team executes when it really matters, we could pull this thing out.
So, yeah, the teams in the past from usually Ontario and BC have been the teams to beat, and you handled the BC team pretty easily.
We did. Apparently there were some issues at the provincial level. I think there's a lot of competition there, and apparently there was some stuff with illegal players being used and certain games being defaulted. So I guess it is possible that certain players did not participate. But that being said, they're a good team. The Prairies are a good team. It's a team from Saskatchewan. They're all very competitive. So, I don't discredit what our guys have done regardless of the competition. We've really put, 4 solid games together. The beauty is it's been real baseball. I mean, I'm kind of like a baseball lifer like you, Randy, and, been there with the Expos all the way through. So when we participate in other tournaments and the scores were, 19-17 and 22-20, it's more like a football game.
Right.
There's 5-4 games. There's 2-1 games. We won a game with 3 hits, and we're able to get timely hits and, bunting guys over and playing small ball, and we were able to pull it out. So as a baseball purist, like I am, like Ray is, and the other 2 coaches, we love that kind of ball.
When you go to a tournament like this, you really have to manage your pitching staff. I mean, you can't win a Canadian championship with 1 or 2 pitchers. You must have a lot.
It is the toughest part of this thing, especially unlike MLB or minor league baseball. It's all about pitch count. There's very specific rules, like 0 to 30 pitches. It's all based on pitch count. So 0 to 30 pitches, there's no days of rest. 31 to 45, there's 1 day of rest, and so on. So the 3 coaches, we sit there in the dugout the whole time saying, do we want to let this guy throw 1 more? Because that means he can't pitch tomorrow. So we're sitting there almost with a spreadsheet trying to juggle everything, and it is the key. But for us, what's been incredible, we have 6, 7, 8 pitchers that we have full confidence to go to. And because of our 4-0 record, where we haven't really been up against the wall, we literally have everyone eligible right now. We have no days of rest. We have guys free to go today, tomorrow, and God willing, the finals.
Yeah, like it's nice to have maybe a couple of aces or a couple of guys who are maybe better than the other guys, but at the same time, the way in minor league baseball like that, you have to juggle everything. It's maybe better to have a whole bunch of guys who are good instead of just having 2 guys who are real good.
Exactly, and that was one of the key things I think that we wanted to improve a bit from the previous years is we wanted to know that if we go down to the pen, we have as much confidence as the guy coming in the second or the fourth inning. We've had guys come in for like 1 or 2 pitch saves. We've brought guys in the sixth inning, almost to get a hold in the MLB stat, just to hold the team, and then someone else comes in to close it as a Brian Wilson type stopper. We've really been fortunate to have the arms in the bullpen, and there's also an issue. It's this tournament's not a sprint; it's a marathon. So you got to keep guys' arms fresh, and we're icing down arms after every game. We look like a MASH unit sometimes, but the boys have been unbelievable. And everyone, when I look down and I ask someone if they're ready to go and give me 15 to 30 pitches, I have 2 guys jumping up saying, "I'm ready, coach."
Now, these are 15 and 16-year-olds, right?
15 and 16-year-olds. They could have turned 17, I think, before May 1st, but primarily 15 and 16-year-olds.
So what's your kind of game plan? Because, like you say, it's you're managing your pitchers almost as much as you're managing the game itself.
Completely. That is the key element. But in terms of how we're managing it, I think we've prided ourselves the whole year on pitching and defense first. We were joking around about it yesterday, saying we're playing like Earl Weaver-type baseball. I think his quote was pitching, defense, and 3-run homers. And before yesterday's game, we didn't really have that element, so now we added that element too. But our strength is keeping, no big innings. We pitch to contact. We don't necessarily strike anyone out. We have solid defense. Our guys really understand the game. We're limiting opportunities on the other side, and we've been lucky enough to score some runs at the right time. There'd be nothing wrong with us getting out to a 4 or 5-0 lead, so we could coast a little bit. But the Cardiac kids haven't wanted to do that so far, so we'll take what we could get right now.
Well, what would it mean? And I believe the world, if you win this, you represent this country at the World Series, which is in, I believe it's Bangor, Maine.
Exactly.
What would it mean to go there for this organization?
It would be unbelievable. I mean, just first of all, NDG, as I'm sure most of the listeners know, I mean, it's a very diverse and multi-ethnic and multiracial, across all kinds of economic boundaries. It's just our team is a microcosm of the community. I mean, the coaching staff, Ray's of Italian descent. I'm Jewish. One of the coaches is of Cuban descent. The other one is of Dominican descent. We have 5, 6 different ethnic groups on the team. We so represent the city of Montreal and, as I said, Canada. I think it would be fantastic. I mean, there's this element that people think baseball's dead ever since the Expos left town. I totally disagree. They don't have to steamroll baseball fields for soccer fields. If you start to generate a lot of interest at the youth level, I have 2 younger sons. They live and breathe baseball. They love it, whether or not there's an MLB team in the city. And I just believe if we would actually, thanks to people like you, I mean, if we can do something on the field and then gain some media profile, I think it would be fantastic for the organization. So I'm going to throw in a plug for the NDG, the ndgbaseball.org, best website in the Little League system. If there's any kids out there who are thinking of playing, all the information's out there, the different age groups. I mean, we'd love to have hundreds more kids. It shouldn't all be about the elite teams, which we are, but you get it going at the house league level, and you have 4 or 6, teams at each house league level, and then you filter that down to the competitive teams. It's fantastic.
Now, I know you have one of the coaches from Baseball Canada's academy and a scout with the San Francisco Giants, Ray Kary, with you. Now, what has it meant to have Ray with you?
It's been fantastic. He's actually the general manager. There's a very specific rules with Little League who you can put on the affidavit, so technically he's not allowed to be on. But he's been like our GM from day one. As I mentioned, helping out with recruiting, helping out run our practices professionally. It's been invaluable. We're kind of taking it to the next level, and I really believe that's being reflected on our performance now. So I actually have Ray right beside me.
Listen, I'd love to talk to Ray.
I'll put him on. Here he is.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks,
Bobby Titleman, of course, the manager of the NDG Senior Lynx, 4-0 at the Canadian Championship, playing the team from Ontario this afternoon, hoping to win the Canadian Championship and then, of course, move on to the World Series, the World Championship in Bangor, Maine. Ray, welcome. How are you, Ray?
How are you, Randy? Thanks for having us on.
Oh, listen, my pleasure, and anytime I can help minor league baseball or any of the young guys, and especially stuff in our community, it's my pleasure. Ray, when you look at these kids and that, there's always been some good ones come out of Canada here and there. There's certainly a good one right now with the Blue Jays, and we've seen Larry Walker with the Expos here over the years. Can the Canadian kids play this game?
Yeah, we can. And you know what? Canadian kids are tough. They're hungry. We got 11 hungry guys on our team right now. We got good kids. This is my first kick at a can at Little League and seeing all diverse, federated baseball. And I'll tell you what, not only do we have good kids on our team, we got good kids in the NDG system. They're hungry, and like Bobby reflected, they're all from all the ethnic players, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Italians, Jewish kids, and they're all hungry. They all want to play. Bobby's kids have been throwing the baseball. They throw the baseball from the minute we get to the ballpark till the sun goes down. It's been fun. We're out here in Roy Noranda, and our guys are rocking and rolling. They're playing the way they should play. It's nerve-wracking because they play like the San Francisco Giants. We wait for a team to make a mistake, then we capitalize. And up to now, we capitalize in the right way.
When you look at the Canadian kid, is there one thing that when it comes to this sport, Ray, that they maybe have to learn more of, or that just doesn't come as naturally as it might say for the American kids who maybe play a little bit more ball because of the weather and everything else?
There's two things. Two things is for me that points out when I see a Canadian kid. One is don't be in awe of the other player. When we even coming to this tournament, our players, look how good BC is. Look how good this team is. Just be confident in your own ability and rock and roll. And number two is they put on, the other teams, they play more. That's all it is. It's when they play more, are they going to be better? Not necessarily. It's just we got to play. When we get the chance, we got to perform. We have a shorter window to show that we can play, meaning that, we play 2-3 months instead of a kid in Florida that plays 8, 9, 10 months a year. So we have a shorter window to show that we can play. But can kids play in Canada? Most definitely. Most definitely. And I'll tell you what, with the kids we have today, the way they're tough, I would play them against anybody in Canada, in the United States. And we're proving it now at a 4-0 record. Now,
anybody there that you've kind of has caught your eye that you could say to the San Francisco Giants, and I know they're 15 and 16-year-olds that say, hey, here's a kid we better keep an eye on?
I don't want to be biased, but I got a kid on our team. And I don't want him to, he's probably listening in the other room. we got Liam Wyatt that I believe he's a special player. 6'2", 180, and take his uniform off, put a San Francisco Giants uniform or a Cubs uniform on, and I guarantee you he looks the part. And he's a silent leader. He's not cocky. All the kids gravitate to him. He's not one of those guys that you say, he's the best player or he's our guy and everybody hates him. This guy, everybody loves him. And it's rare to have that because a lot of kids, Randy, you've been around sports all your life. Oh, he's the best player, but you know what? He's not really a good kid. Mm-hmm. But this kid is a good kid. And all the kids on our team, I'd have to babysit my kids. That's how good kids they are. Sometimes that's too good, but they're very good kids.
Thanks for this, Ray. And listen, good luck this afternoon against Ontario.
Thank you very much.
Good luck the rest of the way, and I'd love to see this team at the World Little League, Senior Little League World Series in Bangor, Maine.
We'll do our best to represent NDG and Quebec and all of Montreal and make everybody proud.
Say thanks to Bobby for me.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
Bye-bye.
Ray Kary is a scout for the San Francisco Giants, also one of the coaches with Baseball Canada's Academy. Of course, we also heard from Bobby Titleman, the manager of the NDG Senior Lynx, 4-0 at the Canadian Championships in Rouen, Noranda, taking on Ontario, which is they're 3-1, and they got a berth in the semifinals. Love to win it for a first time ever, a Canadian Championship. We'll take a break. 2:19 in the afternoon. Going to talk a little golf with Randy Phillips from the Gazette at 2:30. That and a whole lot more when we come back. Tieman Show on the Team 990. Stay with us.